Good morning, or it's almost afternoon now, yeah. So I'm going to be reading our next chapter by the Great Horn Spoon. So when we last read together, the Lady Wilma, the ship, was helping another ship get started on the sea again because they were kind of stuck. They didn't have wind to blow them anywhere. And they were back in the race. It just left off, said she was back in the race against the Sea Raven. So now our next chapter is the pig hunt. So if you remember, Jack has a pig named Good Luck, and he's worried that the cook's gonna come after the pig. So I'm gonna go ahead and read, and I hope you're wearing your Spirit Day. I have my Wonder Teacher shirt on for Spirit Day, so I hope you're wearing yours. If you do, with parent permission, go ahead and upload it to Facebook, the Meadowview site. Okay, so here we go. The pig hunt. Jack began to dread Sunday dinners. It was bound to be Good Luck's turn on the menu soon. The pig no longer came trotting after him. It was true, for Jack had tied up the pen to make it escape-proof. But the porker remained on his mind, if not at his heels. And then with Rio de Janeiro only a few days away, Jack saw the cook leave the galley with a heavy meat cleaver in his hand. Good grief, thought Jack. He was going after Good Luck. Without a second thought, Jack went sliding down the nearest ladder. When the cook arrived at the animal pens, the porker was gone, and so was Jack. "It's that boy," he shouted, waving the meat cleaver. "Pigs is for eatin', not for pets." Soon, even the gold seekers joined in the pig hunt, for the promise of fresh pork made their mouths water. They looked above decks and below decks. They glanced up masts and down ventilators. The cook himself went searching through the cargo hold, while Monsieur Gaunt, the Frenchman in the rough homespuns of a farmer, was watering his precious grape cuttings. "Have you seen a pig down here?" growled the cook. "No, monsieur," answered the Frenchman, "but rats. Whew, oui." The chase continued. The pig hunters looked everywhere but the captain's stateroom, which was fortunate, for Jack and Good Luck were hiding behind the open door. "Not a sound out of you," Jack whispered. The pig, snorting out of sheer love, rubbed his ever-fattening side against Jack's leg. "Shh!" Just then, the captain himself could be heard approaching along the passageway, but when he entered his cabin, there was no sign of the pig or boy. He hung up his blue cap, yawned, and took a nap. When he was sound asleep, Jack and Good Luck crept out from under the bunk, where there was hardly room to breathe. Jack looked around, wondering what to do next. It seemed hopeless, but he wasn't going to deliver up the porker to the cook without a battle. Leaning his bristled back against Jack's leg, the pig grunted a loud word of endearment and almost woke the captain. Jack's breath caught. At any port in the storm, he told himself, and ran. He made a beeline toward his own cabin, with Good Luck trotting along behind. At that moment, Mountain Jim happened along the passageway, and the pig went through his bowed legs. If many gold seekers had joined in the hunt, others considered it sport to outwit the cook. Mountain Jim merely turned to give Jack a wink and went on his way. Once in his cabin, Jack stopped short. Dr. Buckbee was stretched out for a nap and snoring loudly. Moving on his toes, Jack approached his hammock. He would wrap Good Luck in a blanket and hide him in a hammock. But when Jack turned, his breath caught again. The porker had his two front hoofs on Dr. Buckbee's bunk and had leaned his head closer to see what all the snoring was about. The horse doctor awoke. He found himself staring into a strange, grunting face. Thinking he was being set upon by map robbers, for he was more asleep than awake, he began to blow on his tin alarm trumpet. Jack was horrified. The trumpeting sounded like a sick elephant. It would bring the entire ship. "It's only us, Dr. Buckbee," Jack cried, but he couldn't be heard over the blare of the horn. There was no way out of the cabin but the door, and it was too late for that. Quickly, Jack got his arms around Good Luck, climbed on a sea chest, and tried to stuff the porker through the brass porthole. But Good Luck got stuck half in and half out. Jack put his shoulder to the job, but it was no use. "You're done for now," exclaimed Jack. Praiseworthy, hearing the alarm trumpet, was first in the cabin. "What's this?" he said, sizing up the situation quickly. "A pig in a porthole?" "Have you seen the cook?" asked Jack desperately. He was still pushing against the pig's fat rump. "A few paces behind," said Praiseworthy, opening his black umbrella. "Step aside, Master Jack." When the cook entered, together with several gold seekers, there was no pig to be seen. Praiseworthy had taken up a position directly in front of the porthole, with his umbrella blocking the view. By then, Dr. Buckbee had stopped trumpeting. "Robbers," he said, "trying to get my map. I almost caught one of them, a big fellow with fat cheeks." "A mere dream," said Praiseworthy. The cook raised his meat cleaver again. "There's the boy. Where's my pig?" "Pig," said Praiseworthy. "What pig?" "He's got it." And Praiseworthy turned to Jack. "Pig? Pig? Master Jack, do turn your pockets inside out. Our chef seems to think you have a pig about you." The gold seekers began to laugh. "There's no robber in here, or pig either. Come on, boys." But the cook turned at the door, squinting at Praiseworthy. "It's none of my business," he said, crossing his fat arms. "But do you ever stand under the umbrella indoors?" "This cabin leaks shamefully," answered Praiseworthy, "but it ain't rainin'." "One can never be too careful in these latitudes," said the butler. "Good day, sir." The cook left, shaking his head, and Praiseworthy folded the umbrella. When Jack glanced back at the porthole, his eyebrows jumped an inch. The pig had vanished. "Look!" Jack gasped. He's gone." "I declare," said Praiseworthy in genuine surprise. Jack stuck his head through the porthole and looked around. There wasn't a soul in sight, or a pig either. Jack left the cabin and ran out of the deck, where he found Mountain Jim seated on an overturned barrel and played "Oh, Susanna" on the mouth organ. "Have you seen a black pig, sir?" asked Jack out of breath. "Seen him?" the mountain man grinned. "Why, boy, I'm sitting on him." And he tapped the side of the barrel with his harmonica. Jack wiped the sweat off his forehead and began to smile. "Thank you, Mountain Jim, sir." The porker was safe, at least for the time being. "I thought I'd need bear grease to get him out of that porthole. Sit down, Jack boy, and we'll do a bit of singing to pass the time. I'll learn you how to trap a grizzly. A boy your age needs all the educating he can get." Jack seated himself beside the mountain man on the top of the barrel. Soon he was singing to the windy accompaniment of the mouth organ, drowning out any snorts or grunts of protest from the pig. "Oh, Susanna, oh, don't you cry for me. I'm going to California with a washbowl on my knee." When the cook passed, Mountain Jim lifted his yellow bobcat cap with one big hand and went on playing the harmonica with the other. After dinner and well after dark, Jack returned for the pig. Here's a picture of them singing. A few feet away stood the small stern boat with a canvas thrown over it. He waited until the after deck was clear of passengers. Then he lifted the barrel, gave the porker a hug, and shoved him up over the gunwale of the boat. "Done," he said, straightening out the canvas. He supposed this cat and mouse game of cook and pig was doomed, but he wasn't giving up. "Good night, good luck," he whispered. The pig replied with a snort of true love and began scratching his back on the underside of the boat seat. Sunday passed without roast pork for dinner, and the following night the Lady Wilma anchored off the green coast of Brazil. With the coming of dawn, the side-wheeler entered the channel and passed under the fortress guns of Rio de Janeiro. Praiseworthy and Jack stood on the forecastle with a warm breeze snapping their trousers. It seemed to Jack that he had almost forgotten what land had looked like. The mere sight of a hill or distant tree excited him, and then the sunny harbor came into view, with church bells ringing out across the water. House windows reflected the dazzling morning sun. "Homesick, Master Jack?" asked Praiseworthy in a quiet voice. Jack looked up. "I wish Aunt Arabella and Constance and Sarah were with us, but of course, the Gold Country is no place for women and children." "It's not too late to change your mind, Master Jack." "Change my mind?"